Hey there, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Talking to Myself, the part of the day where I talk to myself about things that I was thinking the night before. Shout out, of course, to all 720 subscribers at the time you're making this video. I truly do appreciate it. As well as shout out to Saratoga Peanut Butter, shout out to the Lotus Flame Candle Company, shout out to the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Kings Leon, Rob Pelinka, who already has rumors of trading Kyle Kuzma. Shout out to Rob and Rob We Trust, as well as shout out to basically, anyone and everyone, but mostly my boy Lee and my boy Dorian. Dorian actually, and Lee doesn't make videos, but he's on YouTube, but Doriyan Coleman, go follow him and his YouTube channel. He actually, if you're a Fujifilm user and you're wondering about like the Fujicron lenses, if you're interested in the 50mm, if you just like Fuji photo walk videos, if you're just into just Fujifilm videos and people like using things and seeing stuff, test use case, that's the guy to go follow. His name's Doriyan Coleman, D-O-R-I-Y-A-N. Coleman spelt like coal and then man. Shout out to both of them. We're in a group chat that was formerly known as the Erectile Dysfunction Prevention Team. Not that any of us have ED, but we're talking about working out, jump rope, shoes, things like that. Goes into cameras and whatnot. I don't know why I had my gun right here. I think it's because I was about to leave the house. Don't worry, it has my Raven concealment trigger guard on there, as well as the fact that there is not a chamber loaded in there because I just got done messing with it and doing a little bit of maintenance and cleaning. So don't trip out. Also, for those of you that are in the gun community, talk about you should never point a gun at the camera, whatever, shut the fuck up. So basically I've just been on not a hiatus, but because work has gotten so much doing these paid jobs and things like that in these other states, it's gotten a little bit more difficult to be able to make content all the time, especially considering that I still do have a 9 to 5. So I have a couple shoots coming up on Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning, and then on Friday afternoon, I believe I have a couple photo shoots that I'm having some models come in to model things for the bullmen.com. It's the Bullmen merch. You can look that up. The Bullmen is in like actual bull, like hook 'em horns kind of bull. It's a company that I'm going to be doing a refresh of their website, all their branding, all their marketing, all of their branding initiatives as far as color schemes, fonts, things like that. Actually making this thing go. That's a company that it's pretty nice, man, because they've already got a nice following from a few professional people in the bull industry, meaning bull riding, PBR, rodeo, things like that, and then shows and everything like that nature. And so it's pretty nice. It's a good gig, and so I'll be working on that quite a bit. So the videos will not be 5 days a week, but I'm still going to be putting out content. I was talking to the boys in the Erectile Dysfunction Prevention Team, Doriyan Coleman and Lee DeLeon. We're talking about a few things, a lot to do with cameras and whatnot. One thing that we just saw is Nikon announced, and I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but it's, I believe, the Nikon ZFC is what I believe it was, and it is a classic looking Nikon mirrorless camera, pretty similar to what is being offered from Fujifilm. And when I tell you that it's pretty similar, I mean the aesthetic of it, the dials on top, everything of this nature. You can look it up yourself. I'm trying to find it by going back through and finding whenever it was actually brought up by Lee, because until then we were talking about Pokemon as well as some other things, what size short length and stuff like that. I can't really find it, but yeah, so Nikon's going to be looking at releasing a ZFC, which is going to be basically a retro style nostalgic camera. It'll be mirrorless. It's not going to be something that is going to be film only, and it's going to cost under $1,000. It's going to be announced on June 28th is what the rumor is. Looking at it, it has literally the same dials as what a Fujifilm camera does, and I mean the build's nice, but my thing is for Nikon users, what is this actually doing for you? It looks like it's going to be an APS-C camera, again under $1,000. It's going to be retro looking, but what exactly does this do for Nikon owners? Because this does nothing for them from what I see, especially with the fact that Nikon, you still haven't delivered on your lens lineups for their full frame cameras. The issue that I have with this is, me personally, if Nikon had more glass or had the same amount of glass that Canon had out for their mirrorless, I would recommend to people without a doubt, you choose Nikon over Canon 9 times out of 10, because whether it's their autofocus, whether it's their log footage, whether it's just their their use of their cameras and everything like that, Nikon should be the better full frame camera for the long term over the Canon mirrorless cameras, but it's not. And the reason being is because Nikon does shit like this, where they're not focusing on the stuff they already promised you. Why in the world is Nikon releasing a ZFC, a nostalgic, a retro kind of Nikon camera that apparently is mirrorless, not a film camera? Why are they releasing this instead of giving Nikon owners right now the stuff they promised whenever they first released their Z lineup? And what the hell are you thinking? So you want to go into APS-C. This clearly is trying to bite into who's buying this? Sincerely, because now to buy this, you have to purchase into their Nikon APS-C, that their Z lineup with these cameras. So if you already have lenses for this, then you already have a body for it. Why would you buy a second body? Even more, if you don't have lenses for this, then you have to buy the lenses because you purchased the body. Why would you do that? Are you going to buy the adapter to put on there? Great. Why wouldn't you just buy one of the regular Nikon cameras that you're used to shooting with, their APS-C or their full frame that, again, you're used to shooting with, you know, where all the dials, controls, buttons, and everything like that are. This isn't the move. This isn't the move that you make if you're Nikon. Why was any R&D put into this and not into their lens lineups? Nikon, I have to ask you, seriously, what the fuck are you doing? You think of how much money was spent on research, how many man hours you paid to develop this, when you should be developing the glass for your system. It is an incomplete, horrible system, and at this point, I've been defending Nikon. I've been trying to talk about, like, hey, you know what, they're not that bad, or you know what, I would choose it. I can't fucking rock with this company anymore. I can't say without a shadow of it, without hesitation, hey, I think Nikon would be a good purchase. It's not. It's not. This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna release new bodies without new lenses, and they're gonna release bodies that don't matter without new lenses. So you break your promises, you show people that you don't care, and that you're completely tone deaf and you're not listening to anyone. And that's fantastic for you, but at the same time, you know, you think this is going to make you a lot of money, and I hope they fail. I hope Nikon fails as a company, so that every other camera company can see it does not matter at all how high you are on top of the mountain. You too will fall if you're a dumbass. And Nikon executives are dumbasses. Maybe this will be great, but I 110% doubt it. There is no doubt in my mind this will fail. You're trying to bite into Fujifilm market. Again, the issue with the fact that you're releasing this is that people either already have to be in that market, basically, with those lenses, which means they already have a body. So that means they have to buy a second body. That means they have to want the analog feel and everything comes with. There's no room, there's no talk about what it actually has, what the specs are. They have to want that and trade that in. So that's one niche. Then you have to have the people that are going to buy directly into this, and this will be their first camera with everything else. How big of a world are you getting with that compared to, like, you're basically trying to say, okay, we want to take a piece of the market away from Fujifilm, and you're not even doing that with your current APS-C cameras. This is just, it's just dumb all around. You know what? Nikon with this, oh, we have the biggest mount possible and it lets in the most light. You know what, you guys? It's still the same damn full frame sensor. It does not matter how big the sensor is. That's like, you know, someone building a gigantic mount for a 35mm film camera. Guess what the fuck's gonna go on? You're still shooting 35mm. Wow. Fantastic, everyone. Nikon just disappoints, man, and I was really trying so hard because, you know what, they do a lot of stuff to me better than Canon. You know, with 2 clicks of a button, you know, not only with price, I can get Canon colors. I mean, it's just so disappointing that over and over and over again, camera companies are just, you know, this is what capitalism is. Capitalism doesn't breed ingenuity. What capitalism breeds is just perceived opportunities of creating more income. That's it. You don't think these companies can already put a 6K, 8K, and all these sensors? You don't think APS-C can grow further? Listen, these companies are limited by what they project as their 5-6 year rollouts. And if they don't have the technology to hit something the next year that betters this, then they slow play everything else. That's just the way it is. We've been talking about next generation on gaming consoles for almost a decade, literally, and PCs had it for almost a decade. You don't think that consoles can already have that power to do that? You don't think there's a reason why they've slow played you for the past 3 years promising it and haven't released it? It has nothing to do with the fact that they don't have the technology. It has to do with they don't have the prime amount of games and accessories, etc., to be able to make the most money off of you. And until they're in the position to make the most money off of you, they're not going to do it. Plain and simple. Why do you think they don't advertise hard for their games being on PC when they already have next generation graphics on PC? Have y'all played 2K? Have y'all played 2K on a PC? It is otherworldly. But they can't make money off of that because to play on PC, you don't need that many accessories. You're not selling all these different things. People are building their own PCs. You have to buy an Xbox. You're not building that shit. You have to buy a PS4, PS5, PS19, whatever the hell it is right now. Do you understand that that's the reason why they're not releasing it? This whole thing where we think these companies are being ingenuitive and they're bringing us something new, they're not. They've had this technology for a while and they slow play it. But we fall for it, we bite it. Stop buying Nikon. At this point, I'll never praise Nikon for anything else again. The whole damn thing is disgusting. So other than that, you know, which upsets me about Nikon, some things on the Fujifilm ground and things like that is, of course, there's more rumors about XH2. People are making their wish list, what they wish they have. Of course, everything on it is video centric. I'm here saying that for the X line of cameras, like, you have to do something different where you have to segment some of these things, and not segmenting mean you change the sensor, you change this, that, and the other, but there are certain capabilities that each processor can handle whenever it comes to shooting and all these things, and when it comes to the XT line and the XH line, there has to be a distinct differentiation. The reason being is because when the XH1 was released with the XT3 right after it, people went and said, why is the XT3 more or cheaper than the XH1 when it does more? How is the XH1 ever supposed to be a flagship? Fujifilm's at risk right now of doing that again. Q1 or Q2 of 2022, they're supposed to release the XH2. There's rumors that it could be Q4 2021, but there's no telling on what is true. The issue is, though, is that Q4 2022, there's supposed to be a guarantee of another XT model, which is going to be the XT5. What happens next is very important. Me personally, I'm of the thought and of the school that, you know what, for the XH line to live on its own, have nice video capabilities, have all these things, but gear it and direct it in a way like the Sony A9 II is geared, where it's primarily, whenever it's talked about for sports photography and things like that, limited blackout, limited rolling shutter, limited shake and things like that, limited warp whenever it comes to objects in motion, high frame count. So for me, a high frame rate would be fantastic, and it's not something you have to purposely keep out of the XT3, but if you focus the XT3 and its processor, or XT5, sorry, and its processor more directly onto video, then you have a nice segmentation to where it's, okay, same sensor, same processor, this one's built to be, the video is still great, it's capable, every single thing from the X-Trans 4 and X-Trans 5 sensors can work with this, it's gradable, it looks good, but for shooting photo with a nice grip and everything, you'll get a nice battery grip and everything, a heftier camera, this feels and fits more like a sports photography photo or camera, and it's able to really handle things, the dings, the bangs, because you have to understand, if you're shooting sports photos, there's always a chance that you're going to have some of the talent on the field run into you. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I've seen cameramen that are on the sideline of a football game or on the baseline of a basketball game who have guys run into them, and the first thing they do is cover and huddle and try to, you know, make sure their lens isn't completely destroyed after they get the shot. That's something that the XH1 brought to the table with how rugged the coating was and everything. That's something the XH2 can also bring that I think makes it the prime candidate for being a sports photography camera. Of course you can use it for weddings, of course you can use it for wildlife. My main thing though is, if you have the Olympics coming up, why not market it as such, so you can have people go out there and you can give it and put it in all the hands of all these people that are reviewers and testers, and have them go out and shoot and tell them, we want this to be like this. Because I'm telling you right now, DP Review is going to have the boys go out there and they're going to shoot photos, they're going to shoot video, and they're going to tell you the full bang. So you don't even have to tell people how great it is at video. Let people find out on their own. But the thing with the XT5 is, if you go along the lines of having the exact same processing for photo in XT5 and the exact same video, and it's cheaper, what was ever the point of releasing the XH line? And that's where they have to go. Maybe don't have 21, 22 frames per second. Maybe have 15 or 13 frames per second. But instead of, you know, just having 4K 60 like you would on the XH2, why not have 4K 120? Even though I think that's completely stupid. Why not have 10-bit internal instead of, on the XH2, you know, it would have to be 10-bit external and it's 8-bit internal, or maybe it's still 10-bit internal at a certain, you know, rate, but, you know, it can be 12-bit external only on the XH line. baseline, that kind of stuff, which again, bit rate doesn't really mean much to me, but that's the thing that I'm saying. That's what you have to look into whenever it comes to these things and how you differentiate them. Another thing with rumors is the fact that it's not really a rumor anymore. There has been a release of 2 new lenses from 7 Artisans that I'm excited to look into. One of them being the 55 1.4 Mark II, I believe. I think they're both Mark IIs, and the 60 2.8 Mark II. Reason why I'm excited about looking at these is because, well, they're just, it's nice to always have cheaper, budgety lenses that are sharp, that are pretty fast, and they just look cool. From the looks of what I've seen, the 7 Artisans 55 1.4 is one that kind of intrigues me. I already have a 51.2, so it's not that great. The 62.8 is just pretty large for me, but it's still a pretty cool lens. So that's some things if you're looking at lenses that you're good with. And that's it, man. That's basically the only things I've been thinking about for the past couple of days is really this Nikon thing pretty much upset me. We've been talking about, like some, snobbery and stuff like that in the camera community, but today I didn't really feel like getting into that because, it's just like beating a dead horse. I see these people with these reviews and things like this and the things that they say and how they, people love to jump on and they critique someone else's photography. They critique someone else's, style and things like that, or their composition, and they offer no way to help. They just talk shit to boost themselves up. And that's the thing is, from discussing with some people, the biggest issue in the camera community is people love to say things negative about others, not because they want to help them, but because it helps them feel superior. Because in the camera community, because it's such an easy entry point now, there's no way to differentiate between I've been doing this for 30 years versus I've been doing this for a year. Because honestly, a lot of people that do this thing for 30 years, they're pretty fucking plain and boring. That's just being honest. The reason being is because you got so complacent and used to the shit that you shot being the greatest thing, and you got such a big head. Because back in the day, I remember back in my hometown, there were maybe like 3 photography studios. Now there's like maybe 10 people that'll take your photos, including myself if I'm down. So it's just like people just want to. It's just a superiority complex, and that's usually perpetuated by people who are insecure and who don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. So that's why whenever people talk about me, professionals use this, professionals use that, I'm like, no, they don't, because you're not a professional, so I don't want to hear it. That's cute that you have a website. I've got a website. That's great. That's cute that you've been doing this for 10 years. That's great. You've done portraits for 10 years. Dear God, how difficult your life must be to be able to control your environment and take photos of someone, just tell them to smile. I mean, I don't know who has it worse, you or the guy who takes school photos with a backdrop and just says smile, click, smile, click. I don't know who has it worse, because that's the kind of talent you need. So, that kind of whole thing about professionalism and everything in photography and how everyone's like, let's be cute about it. Let's let's all learn, and let's learn from this guy, or the people that are like, take my courses. I'll show you how to be the best. No, you guys, I'm telling you right now, these moment classes on how to take better photos, don't fucking take those. Watch the YouTube channels of the people that you're paying to go take those seminars with. Stop wasting your money. Okay, read a book. Look up Nacho Lopez. Buy Life magazine and the art of, or in the power of photography. That book to see how people take photos. Look at photos in your newspaper. Look at photos online. Okay, model after that. Watch a Kyle McDougall video. Okay, watch a Matthias Berling video. Watch a Volundis video. Okay, watch a Dorian Coleman video. All right, like there's so many things that you can do besides giving your money to people that don't fucking deserve it. And there's so many things you can do than, for those of you that are snobs, than talking shit about people because you're fucking insecure because people that have been doing this for 6 months take better photos than you. You just by chance happen to have aperture lighting and some bullshit. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. My favorite photographers are people who actually want to help people out and want people to be better. There's a specific man that I think of right now because I followed him because I liked his work. I thought it was fantastic. And immediately, his name's Leon Johnson. You can follow him online on Instagram, Leon Johnson Photography, or follow him on Facebook. He immediately reached out and said, hey, if there's anything I can do to help you be better, let me know. And since then, the dude has helped me be better the whole time. He's helped direct me for certain things to buy, and the photography that he actually does and everything. It's amazing. It looks fantastic. He's into this nice Victorian kind of shooting where he makes these photos into oil paintings after. I mean, the guy is just a complete and total artist. Never once has he talked about how great of a photographer he is. He loves lifting others up. And that's the thing, is for every one guy you have like this, you have 100 old ass fucking weird guys who think because they shoot boudoir photos and fucking girls in bikinis that they're hot shit. Sir, let me tell you something right now. If you're a person who's ever criticized someone taking photos or anything, whether it's gas station shit or saying, oh, anyone with a camera, or you're one of the people who, and I want you to forward this, analog film circle jerk or any analog film community Reddit, go fuck yourself, okay? If you talk shit about people or bitch because fucking people take photos on medium formatted cards, go literally fuck yourself, because I've seen your work, and just because it's on 35 or 120, it still looks like fucking shit, okay? Fuck film photography. It's just regular photography. Stop saying film photography. Call it photography. You're not fucking special. Yes, I can duplicate that shit on my fucking camera or on a computer, because I duped the fuck out of half of you guys, because the last Instagram I had, I told people shot on film and all of you bitches believed it. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, you know, when it comes to these people that are angry and that are, you know, I'm angry, but that are always, you know, bitching about this isn't photography, and you guys don't know, and oh my gosh, I've been doing this many years, but I don't give a shit. No one cares. You're useless. You don't help the community, you don't contribute, you don't make any videos, you don't do anything but bitch. Listen, for all the shit that people talk about Tony Northrup, for Frono's Photo, for all, you know, just everyone that's on the YouTube sphere, here's the thing, at least they're fucking putting something into it because they're making gear, or they're making content. Do I always agree with all these people? No. Do I like Tony and Chelsea Northrup anymore? No, I don't. I don't like watching their stuff because I feel like it's just nothing but propaganda. Tony changes his system every 2 weeks, and the fact that, you know, they say stupid shit, uneducated shit, like Leicas never lose their value. You know, it's annoying. But at the same time, let me be honest with you. At least they're contributing something. And now you have their stuff on the internet forever. So, like, you know, if they fuck up, you can go back to it and they have to be held accountable. Those of you guys that are talking shit, I remember one time on Analog Circle Jerk, this guy was talking shit, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You're talking shit about a guy that I know. Okay, show me your portfolio. And the first thing he said is, I know it's not that good. And he sent me shit, and it was horrible. And it's not even that it was horrible. It's just the fact that he was talking about a dude, talking shit about, like, his username, everything. And the guy has a username talking about noir this, noir that, and a certain photographer who shot noir, and everything's in color in its leaves. And not unhappy fall, autumn leaves, green leaves. Go fuck yourself, photo snobs, and go fuck yourself, purveyors of the film community who are douchebags to everyone else. Have a good one.